missed the big cymbal crashes, and now do it again, Mark. Do it again.
Yay!
Hello, Bugs.
Hello.
Oh,
Welcome to our kitchen again. Now, is there anybody that hasn't muted themselves yet? You have to be muted.
definitely.
I can hear someone's voice.
I wonder if any of the other ones are there.
Is that maybe Deborah and
I'm gonna mute all. You're gonna have to unmute yourselves. I'm gonna take away people's right to unmute themselves.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because we
Mark and Sue are muted again. There we go.
I think we're unmuted now.
now
Yep.
I'm gonna say, is everybody muted? Say yes.
Okay, that sounds good
Everybody
to me.
say yes. Okay. Welcome. Hello, Bugs. Hello. You know what we've done? We actually have moved a huge screen TV into our kitchen because I couldn't see you guys in the other jams because you were just on a little tiny computer way out there. So now we've got this big, huge screen, and we've got signs up all over the place, turn on original sound and all of that. So hopefully we'll remember to do those things. Tonight, we're going to just go through 15 or so songs from Canada by Canadian songwriters or songs about Canada, but I think most of these are Canadian songwriters. And there are some connections in them. Some of them are songs that are, well, you'll see. We'll talk about it as we go on. So the first song we're going to start with is In Canada. And this was written by David Hadfield and performed to celebrate Canada Day in 2012. And Dave Hadfield and his brother, his famous brother, Chris Hadfield, our musical Canadian astronaut extraordinaire, recorded this song. And I wrote to Dave and asked him if we could use his song and put it on the Bug website. And he said, sure, by all means. So what a guy. Really nice fellows. And we're going to start, so there's two counts in the bar, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you'll see 2 bars of C in the intro, and then you'll see 1 bar with an F and a C in it. So in that case, when you see 2 chords like that within the bar lines, it means usually that each of those chords takes half of the beat of the entire bar. So this repeats throughout the entire song, and it sounds like this. And that goes through the whole song. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? No problems. Here we go. You ready?
I hope so.
Okay. One, two, 1, 2. Canada.
What's with Canada? We got
Great big cities, but a lot of trees and rocks. Yeah, the winter's cold here. Wear 2 pairs of socks. There's half the world's fresh water
to paddle your canoe or camp along the shoreline is what we like to do in Canada. Ooh, I'm living in Canada. Ooh,
Float my boat
in Canada. Ooh,
bait my hook.
in Canada. Ooh, we tend to do things different. We each have our routine. Some of us eat kubasa, some of us poutine. But we have traditions that help us stick together. Our milk comes in a bag, and mosquitoes eat at leisure. Playing in a snowsuit, the true north strong and free. Hockey night on Saturday, there on CBC.
Or now on Sportsnet.
In Canada. Woo!
Center
Ice in Canada.
Coming to you coast to coast.
Ooh,
He shoots, he scores in Canada.
Ooh,
I'm a player in Canada.
We pronounce the letter R like we're pirates on a ship. And we'll drive 2,000 miles for a summer camping trip. We wear pearls in winter while plugging in the car. We eat the holes from donuts. We love Nanaimo bars. And we do possess a word that lubricates our speech.
It's pretty good, eh? Pretty good, eh?
And it's always within reach. In Canada. Ooh,
How's it going
in Canada? Ooh,
Out and about
in Canada. Ooh,
Drop your G in Canada. Oh, I slept out in the forest,
scared I'd heard a bear.
I've climbed the Rocky Mountain.
Mountain just because it's there. Cross the great St. Lawrence, said merci beaucoup. Pardon me,
I'm sorry,
excuse me.
after you.
You, in Canada. Ooh,
Politely in Canada.
Ooh,
Line up here in Canada.
Ooh,
You don't butt in Canada.
Every city empties on the 24th of May.
Queen's birthday,
And we say, not bad,
not bad.
we're better than okay.
Not bad.
There's workman's comp and pogey for when we're shown the door. There's Canadian Tire money in at least one kitchen drawer. And we have a golden rule that runs between these shores. You stay out of my face.
I'll stay out of yours in Canada.
Ooh, get along in Canada. Ooh,
Kiss the card
in Canada.
Whoa, friendly tide in Canada.
Ooh,
Oh, 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 Canada.
You can unmute yourselves now, folks. Yay.
What?
Big guy.
there.
George.
Hi, Sue. Where are you?
Good.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Terry.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Sue and Mark.
Hi.
And Terry. And Terry's from Australia.
Yep.
Hi.
Okay. Next song.
Hey, Sue, do you want me to keep folks so they can unmute themselves or no?
Yeah, let's try it. And
Okay.
folks, what will happen is that I will stop the song if I hear someone else singing, I'll stop it and we'll restart because it's real messy when someone unmutes themselves during a song by accident. You can't make out the lyrics at all. It's terrible. So be prepared. You know how I do it at Bug? I go, God!
Here we
Somebody was
go.
asking earlier. Okay, we're unmuted now. Somebody was asking earlier where my pajamas were tonight. Oh, am I on? Am I being seen here? Am I on the screen?
Nope, working on it.
Okay. Well, we'll get ready here for the next song.
Yeah. That was really interesting. What happened for me at the beginning of that last song is that we haven't had this big screen on, and we've just been practicing with our binders here, with our written word. So I ended up looking at the big screen instead of at my binder here, and then I realized what I was doing. And I thought, no, I want to. Anyway, I got lost.
And you unmuted me, and I didn't help at all.
No.
No,
Okay.
I was going to say, somebody asked where my pajamas were tonight. And I mentioned that because of the warm weather, it's you wouldn't want to see what I wear for my pajamas in warm weather. So for my Canada Day pajamas for warm weather, here they are. Can you see that?
I had to wrestle them out of him beforehand because that's what he was going to wear on screen. So you're welcome.
We'll just hang them up here.
Yeah, right.
There we go.
Okay, Big Joe Mufferaw. So Big Joe was a French-Canadian folk hero from the Ottawa Valley. Perhaps best known today as the hero of this song by Stompin' Tom Connors. Joseph Montferrand was a real strong man and a logger in the Ottawa Valley timber trade, and he lived from 1802 to 1864. Subject of many books, he was born and raised in what is now Gatineau, and many of his exploits would have taken place in Ottawa. And as with most tall tales, there are nuggets of truth at the core of all these stories. He was truly was a giant of a man, and because he was French-Canadian working in the heyday of the square timber trade, he was an easy target for the Shiners, an Irish street gang led by Peter Aylan, who attempted to take over the timber trade in the Ottawa Valley in the 1830s. And when we drove up through Mattawa last time, they had, I think it was when they had just erected this statue back in spring 2005. A carved statue of Joe Mufferaw was erected outside of the Mattawa Museum. So if you're passing through that way, be sure to stop by and
See a large
See Joe.
log carving.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Heave high, ho! The best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe. Big Joe Mufferaw paddled into Mattawa all the way from Ottawa in just one day. Hey, hey, on the river Ottawa, the best man we ever saw was Big Joe Mufferaw, the old folks say. Come and listen and I'll tell you what the old folks say. And they say Big Joe had an old pet frog, bigger than a horse, and he barked like a dog. And the only thing quicker than a train upon a track was Big Joe riding on the bullfrog's back. Heave high, ho! The best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe.
Yeah.
And they say Big Joe used to get real wet, cutting down timber and working up a sweat. And everyone will tell you around Carlton Place, the Mississippi dripped off of Big Joe's face. Heave high, ho! The best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Yeah! Mufferaw Joe. Now Joe had a portage from the Gatineau down to see a little girl he had in Kempville town. He was back and forth so many times to see that gal. The path he wore became the Rideau Canal. Heave high, ho! The best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe. Big Joe Mufferaw paddled into Mattawa all the way from Ottawa in just one day. Hey, hey, on the river Ottawa, the best man we ever saw was Big Joe Mufferaw, the old folks say. Come and listen and I'll tell you what say Big Joe put out a forest fire halfway between Ren through an old iron prior. He was 50 miles away down around Smith's Falls when he grounded up the fire with 5 spitballs. Heave high, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe. Well, he jumped into the calibo, he played real fast and swam both ways to catch a cross-eyed bass. But he threw it on the ground and said, I can't eat that. So he covered it over with Mount St. Pat. Heave high, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe. And they say Big Joe drank a bucket of gin, and he beat the living tar out of 29 men. High on the ceiling of the Pembroke pub, there's 29 boot marks and they're signed with love. Heave high, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe. Big Joe Mufferaw paddled into Mattawa all the way from Ottawa just one day. Hey, hey, on the river Ottawa, the best man we ever saw was Big Joe Mufferaw, the old folks say. Come and listen and I'll tell you what the old folks say. They say, heave high, ho, the best man in Ottawa was Mufferaw Joe. Mufferaw Joe. Big Joe Mufferaw, Big Joe Mufferaw, Big Joe Mufferaw.
Hey, there's the flag.
How's the sound for everybody? Is it okay?
Good.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, and we have
Perfect. I can hear you.
Yeah,
I
it's
hear
very
you.
good. Very
I,
good.
it's me. I hear you very, very little. I hear everybody else has a very nice full voice, but the band, you know, the two of you, I can't hear you very well. And I put my
Your volume is very low.
Yeah, it's quite low.
Yeah, it's low over here for me too.
Sharon and Ellen?
It's a
Sounds good for me.
Good for me.
No for me.
I mean, the people speaking are louder than you are, but
Yeah.
when we're in the songs, I can turn your volume up and it's fine.
Yeah, I hear them fine. I hear them fine.
We don't want to turn up the gain too far because
Very good.
then it can create distortion. So we can't hear what you're hearing. So I'll check in again after the next song. And the next song is
You need to unmute. There you go.
there you go. 21 Days. Now, this song was released in 2017 by Scott Hellman, a Canadian singer-songwriter from Toronto, when he was just 21 years old, so long ago. And his debut EP was released when he was only 17. He has earned 4 Juno nominations, toured the US and Europe with our favorite group, Walk Off the Earth, and performed to massive TV audiences at award shows, including the Junos. He won the 2018 Juno Songwriter of the Year Award. And he'll actually be performing in the virtual Canada Day music event. Not ours, but on the, I guess it's probably the CBC. Anyway, so 21 days, and it kind of seemed appropriate because, you know, the earth and zombies and feels a little like that at times like this, doesn't it? Okay. So the strum on this, 4 beats in the bar. So it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. So I'm doing on those A and D that come in the same bar. They're 2 beats each, and I'm just doing 2 downstrokes on each one, okay? And that rhythm, that pattern, continues throughout the song. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 okay? Is everybody muted? Say yes. All right, good. I didn't hear anyone. That's good. Here we go. Do we have a time?
1, 2, 3, 4.
21 days till the zombies come and the earth is done. I'm gonna love someone. You look so calm, not one bit scared, and the monsters stare. What I got I'll share, so let 'em burn the world. If a cardboard castle is all we have love, we can make it sweet. I want to live with you in a cardboard castle. I know we won't last, but neither will we. Woo! We woke up days with the animals gone, and you told me, love, there's nowhere left to run. And all of the fighting and all the world wars, it makes you wonder what it all was for. I want to live with you. If the cardboard castle is all we have love, we can make it sweet. I want to live with you in the cardboard castle. I know it won't last, but neither will we. Woo! Da-da, 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 da-da. Never hiding under newspaper sheets. We'll be fighting even when we're weak. And I will kiss you as the red sky bleeds. We'll show them how to love. 21 days till the zombies come and the earth is done. I'm gonna love someone, so let 'em burn the world. If the cardboard castle is all we have love, we can make it sweet. I wanna live with you in a cardboard castle. I know it won't last, but neither will we. Woo! Da-da, 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 da-da.
So just a reminder, folks, please keep muted. I moved someone into the waiting room because I was unmuting them or muting them, and they kept unmuting. So it's like getting a timeout. If you unmute in the middle of the song, you will be sent into the corner.
Oh.
Please don't make me the bad guy. I don't want to do that to people.
Mark, we've had a couple people ask if you could turn it up just a wee bit, especially when you're speaking.
For both of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
The music's good. It's the speaking parts.
You could just yell.
I kind of wonder too, when we have on enable original sound, I don't think the speaking quality is as good as if we had it turned off the way you guys have yours you don't have your original sound on. But as soon as you turn on the original sound, I think, from what I understand in a couple of groups I'm in, that it actually affects our speaking quality. So
Maybe, eh?
yeah, I hope that you can hear us now better.
Yeah, I think Mark turned it up a little bit and it's a bit louder.
Thank you for the feedback, because it's really important. We can't hear what you're hearing, so we count on you guys to give us feedback. Okay, next song.
Ready?
Yep.
There we go.
Now, Sugar Mountain. First of all, I want to let you know that I'm going to use the 8-string, my 8-string.
And I'm going to use the timbre bass, which is a steel wound strings.
And the 8-string, the G and the C are an octave apart.
Yep.
And the E and the A are the same.
Paired.
Okay, they're paired. So it just gives a bit of a fuller sound, kind of a folky sound, kind of a mandolin sound. We've got a few folk songs tonight. We don't have as many toys and whatnot going on tonight. It's a bit reflective, a little folky. Oh gosh, there's the chicken. All right, so this song, Neil Young composed it in 1964 on his 19th birthday. And he was, at the time, he was in Fort William, Ontario, now Thunder Bay, where he'd been touring with his Winnipeg band, the Squires. And he reminisces about his youth in Winnipeg, Manitoba. The next song we're going to do after this is by Joni Mitchell, The Circle Game. And at a 1970 concert at Albert Hall in London, Joni Mitchell, who was already friends with Neil Young back in the day, when he wrote this song, opened her song Circle Game with this speech. She says, in 1965, I was up in Canada, and there was a friend of mine up there who had just left a rock and roll band. He had just newly turned 21, and that meant he was no longer allowed into his favorite haunt, which was kind of a teeny bopper club. And once you were over 21, you couldn't go back in. So he was really feeling terrible because his girlfriends and everybody that he wanted to hang out with, his band, could still go there. But it's one of the things that drove him to become a folk singer was that he couldn't play in this club anymore because he was over the hill at 21. So he wrote this song, Sugar Mountain, which was a lament for his lost youth. I think a lot of us can relate. And she thought, Joni Mitchell thought, God, you know, if we get to 21 and there's nothing after that, that's a pretty bleak future. So she wrote the song Circle Game to give Neil Young some hope. So we're going to do Sugar Mountain first, and then after that we'll do the Circle Game. But now you have the story of both songs. And that's the sound of the 8-string. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the Parkers and the colored balloons. You can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too soon. It's so noisy at the fair, but all your friends are there. And the candy floss you had, and your mother and your dad. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain with the Parkers and the colored balloons. Can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're Sugar Mountain, with the barkers and the colored balloons. Can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too soon. Now you're underneath the stairs and you're giving back some glares to the people who you met, and it's your first cigarette. Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain, with the barkers and the colored balloons. Can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too soon. Now you say you're leaving home 'cause you want to be alone. Ain't it funny how you feel when you're finding out it's real? Oh, to live on Sugar Mountain, with the barkers and the colored balloons. Can't be 20 on Sugar Mountain, though you're thinking that you're leaving there too soon. You're leaving there too soon.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Get rid of this.
So weird. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
I miss the whole unmute all thing.
Yeah. Nice when you can unmute everybody and have all the noise, but I'm big on consent, so I get it too.
Yeah. Okay, the circle game is the next song.
And there we were talking.
I was talking away.
Talking.
Mark would like that, be able to keep me muted most of the time, but not tonight. So we already talked about why Joni Mitchell wrote this song. It was for her friend Neil Young, because he'd written Sugar Mountain and was feeling really badly about getting older and thought his life was over, so she wrote this. She herself, Joni Mitchell, bought herself a ukulele in 1957. She was around 14 at the time, I believe. She had wanted a guitar, but her mother, with rural roots herself, strongly opposed the idea because of the hillbilly image that she connected with the guitar. Before the rock and roll, the guitar in rural Canada had been mainly used in country and western music and was still widely associated with that genre. So Joni Mitchell, of course, did eventually get a guitar, but she continued to play the baritone ukulele well into the early 1960s. And probably still plays it today, I have no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So, circle game. I put this up into a higher key. Normally I do it in G, but Mark couldn't sing along with me in that key, so we've taken it up. So if I sound screechy, I apologize, but we'll see how it goes. Everybody sing out loud. Okay, and those C sus 4 sus4 chords and G7 sus4, you don't have to do those. You can just stay on C or stay on G7. And the D minor 7, you can just play D minor if you wish. But those chords are beautiful. So if you can do them, that's great. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, sighted over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like when you're older must appease him. Promises of someday make up his dreams. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to cartwheels through the town. And they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow the circles down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. So the years swing by, and now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, maybe better dreams and plenty, before the last revolving year is through. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle game.
Good job.
Hey! So that was an 8-string.
Okay, where are you going now? You're going into the tenor.
Now I want one.
I'm unplugging this.
Yep, go.
Can I go? Okay. And can you turn up the volume for the...
Okay, you can go ahead for now. All right, we're sort of getting set up here for the 68.
I'm used to having the hubbub. Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub.
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 We need some hubbub.
Yeah, you guys, people can unmute in between songs if they want. It's just when we're playing,
Yeah.
they need to stay muted.
So, in between songs, you
Mumble,
can-
mumble.
Hubbub, hubbub, hubbub.
Thank
Mumble,
you.
mumble.
Rhubarb, rhubarb.
Mumble,
See, now
mumble.
that sounds more like a tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a pain in the neck to reach forward to unmute, but we do love to hear you between songs if you do get a chance. And then when we're ready to start again, Ellen will mute everybody again.
If they're reaching for their beer, it works well.
Well, there you go. A twofer.
You get a wine break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like our old TVs where we had to turn up the sound and change the channel.
Exactly.
Oh, I forgot to turn up your instrument here.
You guys ready?
We're almost ready. You can unmute. You can mute everyone, Ellen, and we'll unmute ourselves.
So much to think about.
Okay. So much to think about. Okay. And my guitar, my
you're
ukulele
good.
is turned up?
Yep.
Okay. So
Try it.
next song is Treat You Better.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm using a tenor ukulele now. I accidentally called it a guitar. I don't typically play a tenor, and I definitely don't play a low G tenor. I typically like the sound of the reentrant tuning better, but this is such a folky night for the most part that it just sounded better on a tenor for tonight. So some of them I'm doing on concert, some of them on tenor, some of them on 8-string, and probably bring out the banjo too. We're doing Treat You Better, another young Canadian superstar. Shawn Mendes was born and raised in Toronto. He first started posting cover videos on the popular social video app Vine in 2013. And he picked up millions of views and followers in a matter of months. Artist manager Andrew Gertler discovered Mendes online in January 2014. He is the youngest artist to debut in the top 25 with a debut song on the Billboard Hot 100 at only 15 years of age. Shawn Mendes is now only 20 years old, but has received awards including SOCAN Awards, MTV Europe Music Awards, 8 Much Music Video Awards, 8 Juno Awards, 3 BMI Awards, 3 American Music Awards, 2 MTV Video Music Awards, the Alan Slate Honor from Canada's Walk of Fame, and he's been nominated for 3 Grammys. The song Treat You Better, which we're going to do now, was nominated for a 2017 Juno Award Single of the Year, and that year Shawn Mendes won the 2017 Juno Fan Choice Award. So, and you may have become more familiar with him lately with his duet. He's done 2 songs now, I believe, with Carmen Cabello. What's his one? Senorita, I believe it is. Lovely songs. Okay, so in this, we're going to do this Jimmy Fallon stuff. I'm on the tenor. I'm wearing a rhythm ring. Mark, you're going to hear Mark on the boom whackers, the melodica,
The bass,
the bass,
the glockenspiel.
the glockenspiel, and
That's about it.
that's it.
Enough, I think.
And we're going to use a drum machine. So,
Yeah.
wish us luck.
Wish us, yeah.
That's a lot of coordination in there. Could all go to hell in a handbasket, but that's what we do at Bug, isn't it? It's worth trying.
Messy music.
Messy music.
I'm just making sure I got everything set right.
So in the choruses, just to let you know, suggested strum that I'll be doing is a Swiss Army with a chunk on the 2 and the 4. So that's in the chorus. And there's only one in the last chorus. There's a where it says softly. I'm just going to do a regular Swiss Army strum with no chunk. That's the only difference. Put a lot of downstrokes in here. You can do whatever you want, but I put them in there for this night only, so you would hear the boom whackers and the other stuff that we're trying out. Okay, Mark, can you give me a count?
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2. I just want to give you the loving that you're missing. Baby, just to wake up with you would be everything I need. And this could be so different. Tell me what you want to do, 'cause I know I can treat you better than he can. And any girl like you deserves a gentleman. Tell me why I'm wasting time on all your wasted time when you should be with me instead. I know I can treat you better than he can. Better than he can. Give me a sign, take my hand, we'll be fine. I promise I won't let you down. Just know that you don't have to do this alone. I promise I'll never let you down. 'Cause I know I can treat you better than he can. And any girl like you deserves a gentleman. Tell me, why are we wasting time on all your wasted pride when you should be with me instead? I know I can treat you better than he can. Better than he can. Better than he can. Better than he can. Better than he can.
Awesome. Way to go. That was awesome.
Bravo.
Yeehaw!
Isn't that fun?
Good one.
That's amazing.
Good. That was a good one.
Awesome boom whackers. Yay.
I love the boom whackers. Even just fun to say boom whackers. It's just
I know, right? It's fun to run around the house whacking with them too. They work in a lot of different ways.
Whoa.
That sounds kinky.
That does sound kinky.
Well,
What's
I didn't mean it that way. You know, it's just like in the summer with the pool noodles when the boys were little. I mean, they always became whackers, right? Slapping each other, slapping the pool. Oh. Okay.
tenor still? Yeah.
Next song we're gonna do is Alleluia. I wish Sharon was here. with us. But I wish you all were here with us. You are here virtually, but I miss you guys. I always miss you guys. And, but this is the next best thing, I guess.
There we go. Now you're.
Hallelujah is a song written by Canadian recording artist Leonard Cohen. In April 2009 CBC radio interview, Cohen said that he found the number of covers of his song ironic and amusing, given that when he first wrote it, his record company wouldn't put it out. He said, I think it's a good song, but I think too many people sing it. But in early 2012, during subsequent interviews, he said, once or twice I felt maybe I should lend my voice to silencing it, but on second thought, no, I'm very happy that it's being sung. So I'm going to try and fingerpick it. I am just glowing like incredibly. It's so hot in here because we have to turn off all the air conditioning and the fans and everything so that you don't get that background noise. But whew, I am hot. So this I actually put in the lineup for Ushi, because I know it's Ushi LaSalle's. I don't know if she's with us tonight, but Ushi, this one's for you because I know it's your favorite. So play along. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I've heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throat and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You say I took the name in vain. I don't even know the name, but if I did, well, really, what's it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter which you heard, the holy or the broken. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I did my best, but it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Lovely.
Beautiful job.
Beautiful.
Good job. Good job. Very Canadian.
Did you hear the?
Great song.
Did you hear the choir on that one?
Yes, You Don't Need Me. It was wonderful.
Okay, switching up from the tenor.
Back to her uke of choice.
My uke of choice. This was my first uke mainland concert, and this is my go-to uke. This is it. This is what I use all the time. It's a little cracked. I wish I knew a luce.
Good one, Sue.
Okay. But it's well loved. It's got sweat marks all over it, scratches all over it, and it sounds lovely. In this heat, you have to make sure to tune regularly. Okay, we're going to start the next song. Are we good to go?
Oops. You're good to go. Jumped the gun on you there.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Everybody, are you muted? Say yes.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. I don't hear anybody. You guys are doing really well tonight. Well done. And thank you, Ellen, so much for doing this. And Sharon for helping out. This is great. Okay.
And the 70 of you that are out there too. You're great too.
That how many? Wow.
Well, we 64 right now, but there was 70 at one point.
Cool. Imagine if we advertised. Okay. So we're going to try a French song next. I wish I had my Francophone peeps with me, but everywhere you are, in your own homes, in your own kitchens and living rooms, sing out, because undoubtedly my mouth will not twist around some of these words. I'm sure of it. They, of course, did when I was playing it on my own, but they won't now. Claude Dubois. This was written by Montreal, Quebec singer-songwriter Claude André Dubois, who was born in 1947, so not much older than Mark and I. He was an early star of the Francophone musical Starmania. I don't know how many of you remember that. He was also a vocalist in the Canadian famine relief song Tears Are Not Enough, and was nominated for Most Promising Male Vocalist at the Juno Awards of 1985. In 2001, Dubois was the recipient of the National Achievement Award at the annual Francophone SOCAN Awards held in Montreal. And we learned this one at the Montreal, the Ukulele Festival de Montréal a few years ago. And this was the song that they had chosen for everyone to play after, it was after the concert by James Hill and Daniel Ate the Sandwich and
Manitoba
Howl. And it was just a great, great festival. Okay, Besoin pour vivre. What's the tempo, Mark?
1.
Okay, now, is there anything else I have to say? No. So, just so you know, because it's not obvious without the bar lines, the yeah, yeah, yeah. So that F, G, C, and A minor, the F is 2 beats, the G is 2 beats, the C is 2 beats, and the A minor is 2 beats. And that continues pretty much throughout the entire song, okay? So even though it's 4 beats in a measure, it is. The F is 2 beats, G 2 beats, C 2 beats. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. J'ai besoin pour vivre en ce terre de soleil et de pluie, de légumes et de fruits. J'ai besoin de bouger, de rêver. J'ai besoin pour vivre sur terre de rire, de m'amuser et surtout de chanter. J'ai besoin de danser avec le monde entier. Je peux pas vivre sans être aimé. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. J'ai besoin de m'amuser. J'ai besoin pour vivre sur terre d'essayer plus les êtres. Ne manque jamais de rien. Besoin de travailler rien que pour vous donner, car je ne pourrai pas exister. J'ai besoin pour vivre sur terre d'aimer et d'être aimé, de prendre et de donner. J'ai besoin de rêver et aussi de penser à celle qui me fait tant aimer. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Celle qui me fait aimer. Woo! Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Celle qui me fait aimer. Woo!
Très bonne, très bonne.
Very fun.
I am not bilingual, so yeah, I did screw up some of those lines. It's when you got that.
Sounded good to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super.
Ah, vous avez bien fait ça.
Tu as bien fait. Tu as bien fait. Bravo, très bien.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug and turn on the tenor.
Okay. There we go.
And so you'll have to turn up the
Yep.
sound. Going back to my tenor.
My tenor.
Mark. Okay. Mark prefers the tenor and the low G.
I just need a sip of water.
Okay. So, If I Had $1 Million, song by Canadian musical group Bare Naked Ladies, composed by Stephen Page and Ed Robertson, their founding members. It's one of the band's best-known songs and was a staple of their live shows. In 2005, the song was placed at number 2 in the list of top 50 essential Canadian tracks aired on CBC Radio. A line in the song, as you all know, I'm sure, inspired fans to begin throwing craft dinner at the band during concerts. It initially began as a single box at a 1991 show in Toronto, but quickly grew by word of mouth, and the number of boxes being thrown increased dramatically. It became so bad that eventually hundreds of boxes were pelted at shows. The band and their instruments were often the target. Some die-hard fans would go one step further and throw cooked pasta. Eventually, Bare Naked Ladies requested that fans cease the craft dinner throwing ritual and instead donate the food via bins set up in the lobbies of their shows for local food banks. Security occasionally did checks. They checked incoming concert goers for boxes, though the practice almost entirely died out in the late 2000s. And the campaign spawned the fan slogan, "Those in the know don't throw." So, Bare Naked Ladies. We just saw them the other night, along with Walk Off the Earth on the Budweiser concert on TV. Anywhere?
Yeah.
It was so.
It was a good
so
concert.
Good. Evidently, they come on. Those concerts come on every Saturday night, I think. And last Saturday night was Bare Naked Ladies and
Walk Off
on
the
the Earth. Yeah.
Two great Canadian bands.
Okay. Do we have a count on this, or do we just go?
Here it comes. 1, 2, 1, 2. If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a house.
I would
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
I'd buy you furniture for your house.
maybe a nice Chesterfield or an ottoman.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a K car.
a nice reliant automobile.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
I built a tree fort in our yard.
if I had $1 million,
You could help, it wouldn't be that hard.
if I had $1 million,
Maybe we could put like a little tiny fridge in there somewhere.
well, you know, we could go up there and just hang out, you know, and open up the fridge and stuff, and there'd already be foods laid out for us with little pre-wrapped sausages and things. They have pre-wrapped sausages, but they don't have pre-wrapped bacon. Can you blame them? Well, if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a fur coat.
but not a real fur coat, that's cruel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you an exotic pet.
yep, like a llama or an emu.
If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you John Merrick's remains.
ooh, all the crazy elephant bones.
And if I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
We wouldn't have to walk to the store.
if I had $1 million,
Take a limousine 'cause it costs more.
if I had $1 million,
We wouldn't have to eat Kraft dinner.
but we would eat Kraft dinner, of course we would. We'd eat more of it. We'd buy the really expensive ketchups.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. All the fanciest ketchups, like Dijon ketchup. Mmm, yum. If I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a green dress.
but not a real green dress, that's cruel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you some art.
a Picasso or a Garfunkel.
And if I had $1 million,
If I had $1 million,
well, I'd buy you a monkey.
haven't you always wanted a monkey?
If I had $1 million, I'd buy your love. If I had $1 million,
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 I'd be rich.
Good job, Mark.
Oh, wow, that was hard. Good for you.
Oh my God.
Way to go.
Yeah, that's all the words. Yay.
It's a little warm in the kitchen, or what?
Oh, ay.
You should have done. You should have done takeout.
Maybe I left the stove on.
No, we didn't.
We cooked on the barbecue tonight. That's right.
We can't have the air conditioning on because it creates too much background noise, and no phones, no air conditioning, no nothing. So we cranked it up to, we had it down to about 20 before we started. But then these darn pot lights are so hot too. I guess we could turn them off and play in the dark, but
The stuff you do for us.
dripping wet.
I have to say, I was impressed. I was waiting for Sue to wrap up her talk so I could mute, and then I looked and everyone had muted themselves. So I'm like, okay, awesome. You guys are so great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We're becoming well trained.
My thread of the timeout.
My glasses are fogging up.
This is terrific. I've spent more time on my ukulele tonight than I have in the last 6 weeks. Thank you.
Excellent.
Who's that speaking?
Jim Darley.
Jim from Mississauga.
Ah, Jim, that's wonderful to hear. Hi, Jim. Nice to see you. Okay, Mark, you're going to lead us in
I'm
this
going to
song.
lead this one, am I? Okay.
So this one, there's a G sus2, which is really pretty. So you just lift your second finger that's on the first string. You put your finger in G shape, and then you just lift. Keep your fingers in place and just lift the second finger off the first fret. Okay? And what is the other thing? Song by Gordon Lightfoot. Reached #1 on the Canadian music charts and was his first recording to appear on the American music charts, reaching #5 on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart in 1971. Lightfoot has cited his divorce for inspiring the lyrics, saying they came to him as he was sitting in a vacant Toronto house one summer. At the request of his daughter Ingrid, he performs the lyrics with a slight change now, which I've put into our song sheet. The line, "I'm just trying to understand the feelings that you lack," is altered to say, "I'm just trying to understand the feelings that we lack." So that was his daughter Ingrid that asked for that change. Okay, Mark, how?
1, 2, 3, 4. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet, you know that ghost is me, and I will never be set free as long as I'm the ghost you can't see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind the drugstores sell. When you reach the part where the heartache comes, the hero would be me. But heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again because the ending's just too hard to take. Like a movie star who gets burned in a three-way script. Enter #2, a movie queen to play the scene of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real. I never thought I could act this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's wrong, and I just don't get it back. If you could read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet, the stories always end. If you read between the lines, you'll know that I'm just trying to understand the feelings that we lack. I never thought I could feel this way, and I've got to say that I just don't get it. I don't know where we went wrong, but the feeling's gone, and I just can't get it back.
Bravo.
Bravo, good job there. Ow.
I like your bass playing.
All good, but I like Rainy Day People too.
Yeah, yeah, it's another good one. He's got another
That's nice to.
Okay.
You need to adjust the volume on this. Plug it in.
We were all singing along with you, Mark. You were doing a great job.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Yeah, we were harmonizing like crazy.
Awesome. Oh,
wonderful.
I was crying.
You say you were crying?
Crying. That song always makes me cry.
Oh.
Nice bass line. Nice bass line, Mark.
Thank you.
I didn't mean it was Mark singing that was making me cry.
So the next song we're gonna do, we're gonna mute everyone and Mark.
They're muting themselves, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, so we don't even have to unmute ourselves.
This is great.
Wow, guys, thank you. Next song is Signs. The five-man electrical band was originally known as the Staccatos from 1963 to 1968. The Staccatos were formed in 63 in Ottawa by vocalist Dean Hagopian. You remember him? He worked for the radio station CKOY. And guitarist Vern Craig, bassist Brian Rading, and the drummer vocalist Rick Bell. When Hagopian left the band, then vocalist guitarist Les Emerson joined the band and would become the principal songwriter. And in 1969, they changed their name to the Five-Man Electrical Band and released an album of the same name with this hit single. It was probably the band's most internationally best-known hit, 1971 hit. Reached number 4 in Canada and number 3 on the U.S. Billboard chart. And I remember seeing them actually in the, I guess it's called the Museum of Nature, down on Argyle.
Yep.
They played in the auditorium. And I remember seeing them there, nice close up, and I think I also saw them play at the Coliseum at the exhibition when that was the place that you went to see things like that. Does that building yet even exist anymore? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Okay, so Signs. So in this one, the riff that I had determined here goes the D sus4. You form your D for the first chord, and then you just add your pinky to make the D sus4. You add your pinky, your fourth finger, to the second. What you look
G
at?
sus4, isn't it?
Nope. We're doing this in D, Mark.
You have a D sus4?
Yes.
Okay, it's not in my. Okay, go ahead. Carry on. Carry on.
We're on the same page, guys. Really, really we are. Anyway, you put your fingers on the D, then drop your pinky on the second string, third fret. Okay? So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you've got that quick little down up, down up, down up, down. So it's not really that difficult. It's just a matter of being aware. And I think that's about all that's fancy in here. There's also a G and a G sus4. Again, with the sus4s, you don't have to do them, but they're lovely. And G, G sus4, you just make your G and then add your pinky onto the first string, third fret. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. And the sign said, long-haired freaky people need not apply. So I tucked my hair up under my hat and I went in to ask him why. He said, you look like a fine, upstanding young man. I think you'll do. So I took off my hat. I said, imagine that. Ha! Me working for you. Whoa, signs, signs, everywhere a sign, blocking up the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? And the sign said anybody caught trespassing would be shot on sight. So I jumped on the fence and I yelled at the house, hey, what gives you the right to put up a fence to keep me out or to keep Mother Nature in? If God was here, he'd tell you to your face, man, you're some kind of sinner. Sign, sign, everywhere a sign, blocking up the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? Now hey you mister, can't you read? You gotta have a shirt and tie to get a seat. You can't even watch, no, you can't eat. You ain't supposed to be here. And the sign said you got to have a membership card to get inside. And the sign said, everybody welcome, come in, kneel down and pray. But then they passed around the plate, and at the end of it all, I didn't have a penny to pay. So I got me a pen and a paper, and I made up my own little sign. I said, thank you, Lord, for thinking about me. I'm alive and doing fine. Woo! Sign, sign, everywhere a sign, blocking out the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign? Sign, sign, everywhere a sign, blocking out the scenery, breaking my mind. Do this, don't do that, can't you read the sign?
So. Oh. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that song was very apropos given all the signs that we have all over the place about what to do and what not to do and what to wear and what not to wear. So, okay, I'm going to change up my uke, Mark.
Go ahead, change.
Okay, and you're going to adjust the volume?
They're going on the tenor now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to plug it in.
Yep.
And
Okay, let me just get this.
retune my tenor because the heat is wreaking havoc.
Okay.
Okay.
Sleep in
Now,
late.
this is a song that Chris Hill introduced to us. It's by Big Sugar, 1991. Oh, I better get my kazoo, too. It's from Big Sugar's 1991 debut album called Big Sugar. And they're a Canadian band, a band formed in Toronto in 1988. Between 1996 and 2016, Big Sugar was among the top 80 best-selling Canadian artists in Canada and among the top 25 best-selling Canadian bands in Canada. They've been nominated for several Junos and won SOCAN Song Awards and the esteemed European Edison Award, one of the oldest music awards in the world. So this is a song called Sleep In Late.
Let me just tune here.
Nothing fancy, no fancy chords, except be aware of the B. And you'll see a G flat / G at the end. All you do for that is at the end, we're just sliding our G shape. It just slides down to the first fret. So the G flat / G is, so it's a G chord, but just down towards the nut, onto the first fret.
The heat and these rubber strings on the uBass are just
Not agreeing. Eh?
they're not a happy camper at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just get 1, 2, 3, 4. You ready?
You can start.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I ain't got nothing on my plate. Please let me sleep in late. No catfish biting at my bait. Please let me sleep in late. Feel like I'm standing at St. Peter's Gate. Please let me sleep in late. Don't know the time, I don't know the date. Please let me sleep in late. Gonna lay right down here in my cozy bed. While I might be dreaming, you know I might be dead. Don't have to worry about gaining weight. Please let me sleep in late. I ain't got time for love and hate. Please let me sleep in late. When the sun begins to rise, I don't want to see it through my tired eyes. Don't have to worry about gaining weight. Please let me sleep in late. I ain't got nothing on my plate. Let me sleep in late. Don't know the time, month or the date. Please let me sleep in late.
Woo! What a great song.
That was
I relate to this.
Appropriate for the times, eh?
Very appropriate.
The kazoo is fantastic.
Yeah, fun. I'm going to
Rockin'? Okay, go for it. What are we doing now? Squid-Jiggin Ground.
I'm plugging in. Changing up the volume. So 3 more songs left. It's gone quickly for me anyway. I let me know if you enjoy hearing the history of the songs or tidbits about the songs. If it's too much, or if it's just right. Be sure to let me know. Oh, yeah.
We're going squid-jigging. We got to get our sou'westers on. Oh, you know what else we need?
Our backup singer?
Our backup singer. Here's our backup singer.
I was expecting the chicken.
Okay, well.
We could put the chicken in here. We could give her a solo. Let's throw some chicken in there whenever you so desire, Mr. Rogers.
Chicken of the sea.
So,
Well,
this
tuna.
one, the squid, are we unmuted? Yes. Is everybody muted? Say yes! Okay, excellent. You guys are so awesome. Okay, this song was written in 1928 by Art Scannell when he was only 15. It was Newfoundland's first local hit record when it sold 15,000 copies in 1943. And this song was played on the Carillon in the Peace Tower on Parliament Hill on April 1st, 1949, when Canada welcomed Newfoundland into Confederation. And I remember learning it myself when I was in grade 6 in 1967. And it was, of course, the Canada, 1 little, 2 little, 3 Canadian, Confederation, celebrating Confederation. And we went up to sing at Parliament Hill and whatnot, and we did, this was one of the songs that we did. So I have fond memories of it. It goes on a bit, and it's long. But
Oh, she's really talking this song up.
okay, here we go. I think it requires some chicken at some point. Okay.
Okay.
And when you go, this is the, okay? So it's, that's why we have the down arrow. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, this is the place where the fishermen gather in oilskins and boots and cape bands buttoned down. All sizes and figures with squid lines and jiggers, they congregate here on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. Some are working their jiggers, while others are yarning. There's some standing up and there's more lying down. Well, all kinds of fun jokes and tricks are begun as they wait for the squid on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. There's men of all ages and boys in the bargain. There's old Billy Cave and there's young Raymond Brown. There's a red-headed Tory out here in a dory, a-running down squires on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. There's men from the harbour, there's men from the Tickle in all kinds of motor boats, green, grey and brown. Right yonder is Bobby, and with him is Nobby. He's a chawing hardtack on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. God bless my sou'wester, there's Skipper John Chaffee. He's the best man at Squid-Jiggin, here I'll be bound. Hello, what's the row? Why, he's jigging one now, the very first squid on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. The man with the whisker is old Jacob Steele. He's getting well up, but he's still pretty sound. While Uncle Bob Hawkins wears 6 pair of stockings whenever he's out on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. Holy smoke, what a snuffle, all hands are excited. 'Tis a wonder to me that there's nobody drowned. There's a bustle, confusion, a wonderful hustle. They're all jigging squids on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. Says Bobby, the squids are on top of the water. I just got me jiggers about 1 fathom down. But a squid in the boat squirted right down his throat, and he's swearing like mad on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. There's poor Uncle Billy, his whiskers are spattered with spots of the squid juice that's lying around. One poor little boy got it right in his eye, and they don't give a darn on the Squid-Jiggin Ground. Now, if ever you feel inclined to go squidding, leave your white shirts and collars behind in the town. If you get cranky without your silk hanky, you better steer clear of the Squid-Jiggin Ground.
With those hats on.
Hats are hot. Holy moly, those are hot.
Could you try standing closer to the microphones, please?
What's that? Pardon me?
Could you stand closer to the microphones, please?
I'm eating mine.
We'll try and get a little more volume for you.
I don't know. I was able to get rid of it once.
Okay, I'm gonna unplug.
But I wasn't even touching it. Just no.
For those of you who are having difficulty, do you have an external speaker plugged into your computer or your iPad? That's a key too. Sometimes the
Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, Sue.
Yeah. Yes. I heard someone calling my name.
Are you plugged in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we can turn the volume up anymore,
No.
can we?
I've turned it up a little bit more. We'll see if it works.
Just tuning up the tenor again. Mark's going to lead us in another song.
This time a Vivaldi song. Oh, I should explain here with this song. There's a couple things there. If you'll notice on the end of the second verse there, it's going from a G to an E minor 7 to an A7 sus4, and then into the next verse we have an A7. So the easy way to do that, don't get concerned about it. So you make your G shape for your G chord, and then when you go to the E minor 7, just lift your ring finger, and when you go to the A7 sus4, lift your middle finger, and then when you go to the A7, just slide your index finger down 1 fret, and you've done it. So it's not all that confusing. You don't have to overthink it. G, E minor 7, A7 sus4, A7. And the other thing, in the next line down, where it goes, play me some rock and roll song. Don't play me E minor 7. Don't play me songs with the F sharp minor. So with the E minor 7, you've got your 2 fingers on there on the 2nd fret, 1st and 3rd string. Slide your index finger down 1 fret and make your G7 shape. And that gets you very easily into the F sharp minor. Okay? So just a few little...
So just a little note about the song. Paul Valdemar Horsdale, otherwise known as Valdi, was born here in Ottawa in 1945. Of the Canadian folk artists in the mid-1970s, only Garden Lightfoot was more popular. This song was Valdi's first mainstream single, released in 1972. Valdi's the winner of 2 Juno Awards for Folk Singer of the Year and Folk Entertainer of the Year and has received 7 additional Juno nominations. He's got at least 14 albums, hugely popular, and 4 have been certified gold. And he was appointed a member of the Order of Canada in June 2011. And he often comes back to Ottawa here to play, and we go to see him at house concerts and whenever we can. He's wonderful. So, rock and roll song, and Mark's going to lead us in this.
It's waltz time, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I came into town as a man of renown, a writer of songs about freedom and joy. The hall had been rented and I was presented as a kind of a singer that all could enjoy. As I climbed up the stair to the stage that was there, it was obvious something was missing. I could tell by the vibes that they wouldn't be bribed. They weren't in the mood to listen. They yelled out, "Play me a rock and roll song. Don't play me songs about freedom and joy. Play me a rock and roll song, or don't play me no song at all." I played them some songs about peace and contentment, the things that I'd come to believe in. And when I was through to a chorus of boos, some track star yelled, "Thank God he's leaving." Now someone play me a rock and roll song. I've had it to hear with your flowers and beads. Play me a rock and roll song, or don't play me no song at all. Well, if I played to you a rock and roll song, it wouldn't be fair, 'cause my head isn't there. So I'll leave you with your rock and roll songs and make my way back to the country. Still I hear, play me a rock and roll song. Don't give me music that I don't want to hear. Play me a rock and roll song. I should have stayed at home with a big case of beer. Play me a rock and roll song, or don't play me no song at all. Oh. Oh.
Awesome.
Oh, I need water.
I'm unplugging.
Unplugging. Unplug. Okay.
It's funny, of all the other songs we played tonight with the flowers and beads, I don't think they would like that line very much.
No.
Okay.
So since it's
Yeah, Ellen.
Oh, I just wanted to remind people that there's an informal jam every Tuesday. As long as we're in COVID, I'm going to try to run it. Some people were mentioning that they're looking for other opportunities to play, so you're very welcome to join us. It's not Sue and Mark leading it, it's just whoever wants to lead can lead a song. So if people are looking for some more opportunities to play, please let me know. And it's on the Facebook group too.
And we should remind everybody too that in 2 weeks tonight, it's Canada Day. And Sue and I are going to be leading a Bugs Ukuleles Across Canada jam. We have leaders from youth groups from every province across Canada that are going to be joining us and leading us.
Some of them are with us tonight.
Yes.
I can't see you, but I know you're there.
Jeff is here from
Jeff Part, yeah, from
Saskatchewan.
Saturday Night Strummers,
Yes. And Helen.
Yeah.
Helen
Anyway.
from the Halifax.
So the only people we've reached out, but we haven't got a commitment from our people in Yukon, the Yukon Youth Club, Northwest Territories. I've reached out to Music Northwest Territories, but haven't heard back. And Nunavut, I reached out to an artist up there, Asiva, but I haven't heard back yet. So, but it's going to be fun. We got lots of songs lined up for you, and the leaders from all over have contributed fabulous songs that you won't want to miss.
This all starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Wednesday, July 1st, 2 p.m.
But be sure to tune in to Ellen's Tuesday too, because normally at Bug, when we're in the pub, Mark and I will sing maybe half the songs out of 30 that we do, and the other half of the songs are sung by other people that volunteer to lead. So there's a lot of different leaders, a lot of different fun, and then we also have an open mic segment. So we're sort of saying that Ellen's Tuesdays, which she does, which is an amazing thing, is sort of like that part of the jam. It's where other people lead songs and other people, you can do a group song or you can do a solo. So it's a great thing that Ellen's been doing. Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen.
And we also don't record, so that takes the pressure off. There's no recording of you don't have to be any good. You just have to get up and sing.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Just like us. We're no good. We get up and sing.
It's the motto, the Bug motto.
You don't have to be good.
And you don't need to be any good.
Yeah.
Okay. Last song. This land is your land. Is everyone muted? Say yes. Yeah. Way to go, guys. Okay. I've got my banjo uke this time. Figured it was appropriate for this song. This song is one of the United States' most famous folk songs. Its lyrics were written by Woody Guthrie in 1940. And the melody was based on an existing melody. A Canadian version was written and popularized by the Canadian folk music group The Travelers in 1955. They were encouraged by Pete Seeger to perform Woody Guthrie's music, which was actually blacklisted at the time in the United States under McCarthyism. The group members adapted Guthrie's song, This Land Is Your Land, in 1954 and recorded it as a single in 1957. And this is probably their best known song, but they were very big. Like, they were right at the forefront of the folk music group. They, along with such folk music specialists as Edith Falk, Alan Mills, and Wade Hemsworth, they were icons of Canada's folk music revival. So we're going to do it. Last song of the night, C, F, and G7. One, two, 1, 2. This land is your land,
this land is my land. From Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters, this land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters, this land was made for you and me.
Le plus cher pays de toute la terre, c'est notre pays. Nous sommes tous frères, de l'île Vancouver jusqu'à Terre-Neuve. C'est le Canada, c'est notre pays.
This land is your land, this land is my land. From Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters, this land was made for you and me. I've roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps to the fir-clad forests of our mighty mountains, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From Buena Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the great lake waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun comes shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling, as the song is lifting, a voice was chanting, singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me.
One more time.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from Bona Vista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to the Great Lake waters. This land was made for you and me.
Great job, folks.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us tonight. Great to see you all.
Thanks, soon, Mark.
That was great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
Times,
you.
thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Bye. It was
See you
great.
later.
Bye, sweeties.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Ellen.
You guys are the best.
Thank you. Great evening.
Thanks, Mark and Sue. See you next time.
Hey, Andy. Yeah. Nice to see ya.
Nice to be here.
Hi, Brian.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Where's the beer? Oh.
Okay.
Oh, he's got the beer.
It's empty.
Yeah, I gotta go get it now. Whereas at this time of night, maybe a scotch would be better. I'm going to stop my recording now.
Okay.
I remember how to do that.
Oh, Janie's on too. She turned off her camera though and her mic. She didn't want us to hear her